Hey, so this is part two of what is going to help me heal. Part two, because in my first part, I described a lot of what the process is like of the wave window pattern, what to expect as your real true self emerges. And for this second part, what I wanted to share with you is what can help in the process. So, what can help in the process of getting back to your normal self? If you are wondering, will I ever enjoy life again, ever again, please stay tuned. I would love to share with you what will help in the journey. And if you are looking for support, please click on the link in the description. I am offering coaching and also group calls. And if you're looking for that support, I would love to be one of the people cheering you on in your healing journey. So, what I have learned in my own healing process of getting off psych meds, of getting back to normal life and back to fully functioning and fully enjoying life is there were some things that definitely helped me in my healing, and there were some things that didn't. And so I would love to give you the cheat sheet and just save you the trouble and save you time, and let you know just some of the things I've learned along the way and that others have learned and told to me as well. Okay, so I wrote some of them down. One of the things, okay, I would say these go in two categories, okay? Two categories. One is mindset, okay? So it's very important that even though you are having an automatically negative thought process, and that's because of withdrawal, that is not your fault. That is just part of this experience outside of your control. But one of the things you can do and you can contribute to your healing is you can choose a healthy mindset and promoting a healthy mindset even to your injured brain. You're going to be like, how do I do that? That sounds impossible. I will tell you, I'll give you my tricks. So that's the first one. Mindset is cultivating that healthy mindset. The second one is habits. And that's, I think I made a video earlier called strategy. That's a little bit more about like your strategy, your habits, your routines. And those things will also help your healing process. That can speed your healing process. It can promote your healing process. The thing we cannot do, we cannot control the timing of our healing. And that's really hard, especially if, I mean, you've been living an adult life. You are used to being able to make choices for yourself. And maybe you have a lot of people depending on you and you have responsibilities and people looking to you. And it can feel very helpless to not be able to control the timing of our healing. And that's where acceptance comes in, is just accepting like there are some things we cannot control and some ways that we may disappoint others, and that it's okay. It is okay to accept that we need a time of healing. Okay, so, and these are the things you can control and you can contribute towards your healing because your healing is coming. So you can contribute your mindset. So I wrote a couple things down. I'm going to read them to you that I learned that helped with mindset. One, I already touched on, that's acceptance. And that's going to be a daily thing. That's going to be like, and that can be a struggle. You might be in the early stages, like kicking and screaming, like, this is not happening to me. But acceptance will help you because then you're not fighting the healing process. You're learning. You're learning from it. And you're going to get the gold that's in it for you. The second thing, surround yourself with love and support. Okay, this is where you get really honest with yourself and you really look at who you're surrounded with and whose voices are loudest in your life, okay? And what you need right now is people who are going to accept you the way you are and love you. They're going to love you through it, okay? If anyone's not able to do that, I would not suggest they be in your inner circle right now. You can be like, now's not a good time for getting together or for chatting, and be really picky about who those people are that are in your inner circle. And it's not like you have to cut everybody off. you can just put a pause button on the relationships that are draining or just that are not able to support you in this time of crisis. This is really a kind of a crisis time. And what you need is love and support to come through it. So surround yourself with that. If you have a friend who's like really understanding and you can pick up the phone and tell her anything that's going on and she says, that sounds really hard, but you're making the best of it, and she's just able to meet you where you're at, that's a good friend to call. If you have it, it could come in various forms. You might be surprised at the support that comes your way as you open your heart to it. That sounds so cheesy, but it might be like in a support group. It might be, I have some people I've known who found amazing healing buddies through forums, and they've gotten off the forums, but then support each other as healing buddies. It could be just like a friend who's been through something hard, so she just knows how to be compassionate, even though she doesn't know exactly what it's like to go through this. It could be a mom, it could be an aunt, it could be a spouse. You need someone who loves you and is supportive and is cheering for you. Nobody's going to gaslight you and be like, that didn't happen, or it's in your head. Well, yeah, it's in my head. It's my head that got injured. So anyway, so love and support, very, very important. Okay, next one. Speak positive messages to yourself. Okay, so when we are in crisis, we often get a story in our head about what's going on, and we repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Also, that is part of withdrawal, because negative looping thoughts is part of withdrawal. The repeating of like maybe what happened and how you got in this situation, or something that happened a long time ago, why you even got on meds, or something that surfaced getting off that you were like, I never processed this because I was numb on the meds. So your brain might be just replaying, and you can't control that. But what you can do is you can create positive replays to yourself. So if your brain automatically is going, remember this terrible, negative, horrible thing? What you need is a reel that you can play, that you can say, you know what, but I'm also going to remember that so-and-so said she healed and it took this amount of time. And you just give yourself those positive examples. If it's like positive encouragements, mantras, beliefs, like I am loved and I belong, and maybe you list the people who make you feel that way. Maybe it's like, your anything hopeful or true that you can be repeating to yourself. I will heal. I am loved. So-and-so healed. This has a purpose. Like there will be a purpose for this. Or I know someone who went through the same thing and they got better. And so you just replay to yourself hopeful messages of healing, and speak that over yourself. If you're desperate, maybe you're saying, I need help, and I'm going to find help, even if you're uncertain. I need help and I'm going to find help, or whatever it is. So just speak those positive messages over yourself again and again. If you're a person of faith, you can repeat all of those stories and encouragements of faith that you have. And so for me, I'm a Christian. And so like there were verses and stories that I would just go back to again and again and be like, there can be a purpose in this. God is with me. God cares for me. And so you can take that if that's encouraging to you, definitely take that. But those positive messages that we speak over ourselves are so important in our healing. And they help your body to believe you and to believe that you're going to heal. Okay, that's the one I wanted to share. Speak positive messages over yourself. When you have a window, just relish it. Just marinate in it. Be like, wow, I had 2 hours where I was not in agony and I just sat on the porch and I listened to the birds. I got to listen to the sound of the birds and enjoy the birds and just let yourself marinate over that and even repeat it to yourself. You can even include it in your mantras. You can even include it when you talk to your healing buddies. Is that you had a break and that's evidence of your healing. And so when you marinate in that positivity, that's going to help the positivity take root for you. That's going to help and it's going to build your confidence because you're going to see, you know what? I'm healing. That's more evidence of healing. That's evidence of healing. And so what we're leaning into here really is neuroplasticity. The fact that your brain can learn from you. Even if your brain is automatically negative, your brain can learn from you that I'm safe, that I'm loved, that there's hope for me, that I am healing, that there's a future for me. So you just want to keep speaking those messages over your brain as your brain is just like a sponge, like just waiting for something encouraging, anything hopeful right now. And so you just keep feeding that in and be like, well, last week I had a window, that's evidence. Well, last week I had a really encouraging conversation with a friend, that's more evidence for my healing. Okay, what's next? I think I kind of covered them, but basically any positive belief or thought that comes into your head that you can repeat and see it as evidence for your healing and look for those evidences of healing. And so you're building up a case for yourself. You're leaning into that neuroplasticity and you're making all those choices that you can make to help your body heal. Okay, that was mindset. The next thing I want to cover is your habits and your strategy. So actually we're at, oh my goodness, we're almost at 12 minutes. Okay, guys, I'll make this a part 3 and I'll get into habits for healing. Thank you so much for listening. I am so with you in your healing. You're going to get there. Take heart and check out my link in the video description if you're in need of coaching or if you're wanting to be part of my support groups. And just know I am cheering you on. All right. Take care.